Aboutdre peoples, you already know what time it is today. It is Halloween Kills time. I cannot wait to talk about this film, so I don't want to waste too much time. Let's just get into the video. Halloween Kills. It picks up, well actually it's in the same night as Halloween 2018, where Laurie, her daughter, and her granddaughter are all survivors now at this point. They have won the battle of defeating Michael Myers, and then they pretty much, he's presumed to be dead until he's not. This film, I loved. I loved this film. I had fun with it, but also it didn't miss a beat of keeping that mystery and that quiet aesthetic and presence that is Michael Myers. I didn't know what to expect, even though, in my opinion, I felt like the trailer showed too much, and I'll get into that a little later. I just had fun, and I hate using that word for films, but I had fun with this film, and it brought me. I feel like this film was the first Halloween sequel to kind of capture the essence of not just Michael Myers, but Halloween as a whole. What the first film did. It captured that essence and then it brought something new. Michael Myers is brutal as hell in this film. But what I loved is that they explained that the Michael Myers that we saw in 1978 was kind of young in so many ways. Not just in age, but his power was still growing. And even then, which is also a great thing, the flashbacks. I love that they kind of was able to kind of grab that aesthetic from the 78 film and kind of go back into that moment of okay, Dr. Loomis shot Michael and he just up and left. And we don't know what happened at that moment because clearly he was captured, and that's how we got to 2018. But it goes back into those final moments of every little detail kind of reveals more about not Michael's backstory, about what but about what he's becoming and what he wants. But yeah, Michael Myers is pretty much, at that point, he was still growing in his power. And he was more easily defeated. Even his killing was way more, I don't want to say more simplistic. It wasn't as brutal, it was more just strangulation and stabbing. But this one, Michael is within his power now. He is kind of beyond anything that we've seen before with him, and I think the opportunity to defeat him is kind of past. I don't know. I just love this film. Mind you, the first one always will be cemented as being the greatest. It really is. It still is my favorite Halloween movie. Followed by Halloween 2. Some people don't like that, but I love the sequel to the first Halloween film. But this, I feel like it is my third favorite. I love Halloween 2018. I had some issues with it, and then some of the issues were in this film, but for the most part, I felt like this captured what Halloween is. Overall, guys, I freaking love this film. And like this video, because it helps. I love this film. I cannot say anything more or less about this film. Actually, I could say much more. It was beautiful. It was fun to kind of revisit old characters from the past and to kind of see not only how Michael affected and kind of created molded what Laurie is today, but how he molded the entire town and how what he did to those people, and how till 40 years later they're still scared of him. What I loved about what David Gordon Green and Blumhouse is doing with these Halloween films is each film is kind of a mirror and reflection of the time that it comes out. 2018 was more of a Me Too kind of, it was more of a Me Too kind of film in a way, because it's this person who was a victim and she takes her victimhood and becomes a survivor and a fighter. This one is kind of a reflection of how pretty much the play on fear and kind of the playing on people's fear and playing on people's emotions can create a chaotic state where no one has a clear head. And I love that. I love that this film was able to kind of just capture the effects that Michael not only had on Laurie and her family, but what the effects he had on the rest of the town. And what he pretty much, he's more than just a monster that kills. He's a monster that affects emotions and create nothing but sheer destruction when he's not even doing it physically himself. Now, with that being said, when you create something like this, especially in a horror film, a lot of times I feel like certain people can get scared. I don't know who behind the scenes or whatever. But what I did feel, and this is what I didn't like about the film, is that I didn't feel the full confidence in those things, in the story, and I don't feel like they was confident in the audience of understanding any of those things, because I pretty much understood what it was trying to say. But when you pick up on all that, and then the next scene you have a character pretty much in full exposition telling you exactly what you already picked up on two or three scenes ago, that is to me a sign of that you're not confident. And then when I look at the marketing of this film, how the trailers were just, in my opinion, spoiler heavy, that tells me that the studio wasn't confident. And I don't understand why they wasn't confident. Now, you're going to have these critics who say, oh, there's too much killing. Well, when you have a film called Halloween Kills, I don't know what you expect. But we have to kind of stop living for what these critics who have, in my opinion, their own agendas and what they feel. We have to just go in there and do what we do. Now, if the swing lands, if it doesn't land, it doesn't land. But if it does, it does. It doesn't matter. I'd rather you take a swing and miss than go into something not fully committed and unsure of what you're trying to say and do. Also, MAGA, this is my country, get off my land, Tommy can for effing go. I didn't like this version of Tommy, and this wasn't even the original guy who played Tommy. Anthony Michael Hall, I was a fan of you in the 80s, or the films from the 80s that you did when you was a nerd, but this, yeah. Also, in my opinion, I feel like Laurie learned what Michael was quickly, and she was smart. But the townspeople and the other people who came across Michael and pretty much know who Michael is, pretty much done very reckless, stupid things, and I get that was part of the thing, but it annoyed the hell out of me because it was Tommy who told Laurie in the original film that Michael, or the boogeyman, you can't kill the boogeyman. No matter what you do, you can't kill the boogeyman. And then he was the main one leading the troops with the pitchforks down to their own doom. So it made no sense to me on that end. The film, in my opinion, was not that scary. Halloween has pretty much set the standard of all the horror tropes, or the original horror tropes that we all grew up upon. So I don't understand when people hear a noise, why the hell are they going to check the noise out? Why the hell people just sitting around, standing around when they have ample opportunity to get the hell out and run? And so there's just certain things that I don't understand why we still making certain choices. Like, the story is pretty much within the times that we're living in right now, so I would expect those scares to kind of like evolve with it, and those scares did not. But what was scary, those scariest parts were the parts where Michael was just being. Michael himself is just a scary, this ominous creature, that is scary enough. You don't need jump scares. I think Michael, at this point, in the direction they took with this film, he got in here. And that was enough for me. Also, the music evolved. As much as Michael has evolved, the music has evolved. And I say that with, in a positive way. I love the music. John Carpenter can't do any wrong. He is a master at what he does. And I can't say anything more or less about that. I think you guys are going to have a good time. I'm going to see it a second time. On Friday, I believe. It is my birthday weekend. My birthday is Monday, but I'm celebrating this weekend. So wish your boy happy birthday. And Subscribe for my birthday, guys. Subscribe for this channel. Appreciate that. Love you guys. But that's gonna do it for my review. Catch you next time, guys. Please check it out. This was a great film. If you're horror buff, you're gonna love it. So check it out, guys. It comes out Friday in theaters and Peacock. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.